never played rugby, soccer, well, apart from a few stints at school, etc. I wouldn't go across the road to see a game of rugby, nor tennis, nor cricket, nor any of those other things. Beach volleyball, maybe. I guess with cars, once you start with cars, they do consume your time. I guess it's like a drag racer. I've never got into drag racing, but you know, I believe it's a drug, and you know, they just want to go faster and faster. Well, you know, we always want that next car, or we want to make it better, or whatever. So I think it's just, it's probably never being satisfied. You know, I remember my wife telling me many years ago, like, just buy the car you really want and stick with that. And I said, there is no one car I really want. I want them all. Well, yeah, I get a lot of stick about that, and I'm not known for working real fast on my projects. You know, I have a lot of other priorities in life as well. We have grandkids, we're looking at building a house in the future. You know, I've got a lot of things on the go as well as a business. Sort of feel that when the dollar was good, I bought a few bits and pieces, and I figure, well, as long as I've got them, I've got the opportunity to do them. Well, like a lot of guys, I guess, in my younger days, you know, going right back to about 8 or 9 years old, neighbours had cars. One of the neighbours was actually into speedway cars, and he built midgets in the house behind us. So I was the helper, you know, chipping the arc welds and go for this and go for that. And Dad took me to a show in town. It was in Campbell Motors at the time, and Upper Queen Street. I forget what year it was, but it was probably 8 or 9 or 10 or something at the time, and I first saw cars like the GB Juice and things like that. It was, it just blew me away, and after that I was absolutely hooked, and I knew that when I grow up I'm going to be a hot rodder, you know. I guess with anybody that combines their interests or passions with their business, it does cloud it, obviously. It's pretty hard to make money out of your passion. I think you need to be a bit separated from that if you want to chase money. In the 80s, we started our own business. Ended up being more new car work, etc. And with that was urgency. And a few years of that, and I got pretty tired of it, you know. I thought, well, this is not really what I want to do, you know. So I sold that business, had a break for a couple of years, then Cascade Autofinish, or it was Cascade Auto Painters at the time, became available. I bought that, but made it clear that I would do what I want this time around. And obviously it's come at a cost. You don't make a lot of money doing it that way. But the lifestyle has been great. The business is 5 minutes down the road from home. Basically, one half of the building is now a toy shop, and that's for myself and my son Sam. The passion side of it, we try and put into the business with the type of cars we're doing. We're doing mainly restoration, we're doing American cars, hot rods, etc. We try and accommodate all budgets, but ideally our passion is to do full-on jobs, whether it's restoration or show type finishes. And when we're allowed to do a good show finish, we try and put everything into it. And I really hope that the custom and show scene does take off in New Zealand, because we'd really like to be a big part of that. And it would be great to see more outstanding cars out there. We've done a few cars that we're pretty proud of now, and we'd like to build on that. My son Sam has been with us since 2000. He's done his apprenticeship with us, now fully qualified obviously, so a good 15 years. He's helped out a hell of a lot. He's very good on the bodywork side of things. He's taking a more active role in the business as far as management goes, and we're looking towards Sam possibly taking over the business at some stage, all going well. But it's nice to know that somebody's there that's prepared to take on that tradition. Adam's been with us 8 or 9 years now, and Adam actually did his apprenticeship with us as well. So we're really lucky to have him on board, and between us I think we'll make a pretty good team. The difference between an average paint job and what we call an outstanding paint job is purely labour. It's hours, and that's from the ground up, from the way you treat the metal to what you end up with at the finish. And on a typical show type job on a big car, once the car is actually painted, where the average paint shop would be very happy with it and just give it a polish and send it out the door, we probably spend an average of about 100 hours just sanding and buffing and polishing the car to get the best out of the paint. We don't like orange peel in our top jobs. When you do that, that's all well and good, but it shows up imperfections. So you have to make sure that the groundwork is good, the bodywork is good, everything's nice and straight. Fine-tuning gaps, aligning panels, filling, and that's a dirty word for a lot of people, but body filler. If you want to get a car straight, there's no way on earth you're going to do it without body filler. I don't care what people say. And the people who say that they did it all and they got it all straight and they didn't use 1 ounce Bondo in the car, I would suggest they go back and have a really critical look at the job, and I'm sure they would find imperfections. It's hard to explain to people without putting them off or sounding arrogant, but you know, what does a paint job cost? It's, you know, how long is a piece of string? I tell people, well, we can just keep going to infinity. You know, you have to tell us how much you're prepared to spend, and we'll tailor the job to suit your budget, basically.
At Classic Cover Insurance, agreed value means agreed value. No fish hooks. There's a lot of reasons why your hot rod or Classic should be insured with Classic Cover. To find out more, jump onto our website and see for yourself.
In 2012, we were in a position where we could finally travel to the States for the first time, and I had my heart set on buying a Merc, and it was supposed to be a custom. That was the vision. I went to just north of San Fran to have a look at a custom Merc. It wasn't quite what I wanted. The idea was on that day that the custom wasn't right. I need a stock one that we can chop and turn into a custom. When I looked at the 49, I could see it's too good to cut up, so I dismissed it. And a couple of days later, while we were down in LA, it bugged me, so I thought, no, it's a really nice car, I want to buy it, so I did. In the meantime, another one that I had made inquiries about, an unfinished project, a guy had a sale pending on it that fell through, so he contacted me while I was still in the States and said, it's yours if you want it. So suddenly I own 2 Mercs. While we're in the States, I'd met a guy called Matt Townsend from Riverside, and he's basically your 49 to 51 Merc expert. There's nothing he doesn't know about Mercuries, and he does, in my eyes, perfect work and beautiful chops, and he gets the proportions right. And we hit it off from day one, so I decided I'll get the car transported from Georgia over to Riverside, and Matt's been working on it over the last couple of years. He's done the chop beautifully, in my opinion, exactly what I wanted. We've set the car on an Art Morrison frame, and it's just about due to come back. Should be back maybe middle of this year, I guess. Certainly it's a bit weird being on the other end of things with our business. It's us doing the work, and you know, they're having to sort of trust us to do what they want and to create their dream, I guess. And the shoe's on the other foot here, and it is a little strange, and I guess I almost feel guilty sometimes, just, you know, telling them what I want and paying the invoice. It just, you know, it feels like you're cheating, you know, you're not doing the job yourself. But at the end of the day, it's reality, and if I had have brought the car back here, it wouldn't have progressed as much as it has. I guess cost has been an issue. We do have a problem where if we import a car, it's going to cost us a lot of money. And a lot of people are reluctant to cut those cars, I guess, if they make a boo-boo. It's an expensive boo-boo. You know, we can't go down the road and buy a replacement roof or whatever. So I guess that's held us back a lot. Part of me is going a little bit vintage these days, and much to some of my mates' horror. And I'm appreciating cars that are original or aged. The shoebox at work is far from original. It's had a million touch-ups on it, but it's almost like a history there. You can't make it the same. You can't recreate that. It's only old once. So I think that's where the appreciation comes. I don't like crappy paint jobs, but if something's stood the test of time and it's got a few war wounds and everything, I think that's a cool thing. The 34 Coupe, I certainly won't go for a faux patina job or anything like that. I detest those. That's as bad as putting Oldsmobile valve covers on your small block Chevy, so I apologise to all those that'll get offended by that, but hey, that's reality. And faux patina paint jobs to me are just as bad. If there's a need to touch up a car, to blend it in with the patina that it's got, then fine, but don't take a fiberglass body and make it look like a rusty steel one, I'd been following the build of the 34 on the ham. The car came up for sale due to a guy's personal circumstances. I just had to grab it basically. It's got what I consider the ideal list of ingredients. I love the chop on the car. The proportions in my mind are perfect. It's a really good steel body. 392 Hemi, which has worked, Isky Mega Cam, etc. Big valves, adjustable push rods. It's had all the good stuff put in it, the high volume oil pump and all that sort of thing. It's all been gone through. It's got the Chevy water pump conversion, etc. It's mated up to a T5 manual, and then followed up by a winter's quick change. I'm not into blowers or anything like that. I love multiple carb setups. At the moment it's running the 4 Speedway 97s. I've got a 6 carb log manifold for it, so we may change that later on once we get the motor running right. At the moment it's still got a few lifter issues and needs tuning properly. I'm only just experimenting with the carbs at the moment, so I've got it to the point where it's running good enough to hopefully take it for a squirt around the block. One of those things, it's a bit like going on a rod run and trying to get a car ready for it. I knew you were coming obviously, and it gave me the motivation I needed to get the car going. Today was the maiden voyage. She's pretty rumpty and we've got a lot to do. Exhaust fell off going around the block and that sort of thing, but I guess that's part of hot rodding. Yeah, we've got a few issues to sort out, timing, fuel, stuff like that, but hey, it goes through all the gears, and the quick change sounds pretty cool going down the street, so yeah, I'm more than happy with that. Not about necessarily achieving every single thing. It'd be nice if it happens, and that's what we're intending to happen. The Cadillac Coupe at work, the 60, that's a huge job. We've probably soaked up 500 hours in just body work alone. There'll be a whole lot more to come before it's even painted. After that, of course, wiring, interior, list goes on. So yeah, I've got some big projects ahead of me. Whether they all get finished or not, who knows? Does it really matter? I'm enjoying the process, and the dream is what it's all about. And it's a bit like going on holidays. Sometimes the anticipation of the holiday is greater than the holiday itself.